Hello, viewers. Once more, you're welcome to your favorite show, Shantia's Haven. On Shantia's Haven, we talk about the family, everything that has to do with the family. Being a parent or a caregiver these days is not very easy. It takes hard work, it takes determination, and it needs you as the parent or the caregiver to be intentional about helping to raise your child to be who you really want that child to become. Our society today throws a lot on these children. So I call on all the caregivers and all the parents to please put in some more effort in raising your children. No matter what you see, just keep doing your best. One day, you will be grateful you did what you did for that child. Today, again on Shantia's Haven, we have a very interesting topic. One day, I stumbled on this child. She just told me somehow, she said, she doesn't like the way she looks. She would like to be fairer in complexion. So I looked at her and I wondered why she asked. She said that I was a primary school child. As usual, it gave me an idea for a topic. So today we're going to be talking about self esteem in the lives of our children. He's weak. He's lovely. She's beautiful. She's dull. She's stupid. She's wonderful. She's adorable. These and more are words that our children hear almost every day from the society and from the home. These words, most at times, form what they become because as they hear the words, the more they hear the words, the more it shapes their mindset about who they really are. What is self esteem? Self esteem, simply put, is the way you see yourself, the way you perceive yourself, especially what you hear, especially from what you hear from those who matter to you the most. Our children hear different things from different people who matter to them. It could be their family members, it could be their parents, it could be their friends, it could be society itself. It shapes how the children are. The way they see themselves is not the same all through. They have ups and they have downs in the way their self esteem is formed as they grow up. But today, our focus is how do we help our children who have low self esteem? Oh, yes, the children too do have low self esteem. I've met a couple of them with low self esteem. They either don't like the way they look or they don't like the way they reason, the way they think, or they don't like the results that they produce. And why would they not even like it? I want to believe that if your child is alone in the world, lives alone, does everything alone, that child may never know what low self-esteem is because the child will never have something to compare or someone to compare with. So this self-esteem comes most at times with comparing two things, comparing one thing to the other. We did some research and we put down some things. Your child's self-esteem will naturally go through ups and downs at different points. A young person develops their opinion of themselves through the way they are treated and in their relationships as they grow up. A young person develops their opinion of themselves through the way they are treated in their relationships and in the way they grow up. Sometimes this self-esteem, especially the low self-esteem, is produced in a child when the child is put under too much pressure to succeed or to do everything well. A perfectionist, a child who is in a home where the parents are perfectionists. Oh, you didn't put this well, you didn't do that, where the child is under so much pressure. It affects the esteem, the self-esteem of that child. A child can have low self-esteem when the child only noticed when they achieve something. So maybe 99% of the time the child is criticized at home, and only one time the child does something that they have achieved some, that's when they are even recognized, that's when they are appreciated, that's when they are looked upon by someone they hold dear like their parents or some older sibling that they are looking up to as a role model? Do you tell your child off when they struggle with schoolwork? When they struggle, when they don't do well, when you think they don't make you proud in school, how is your reaction towards that child? That will shape the child's self-esteem as well, because you're one of the most important people in that child's life. Looking at social media and looking at other people who others call beautiful can put that child on pressure, under pressure too, and it will shape the way the child looks at his or herself. Maybe this person that celebrates in the home is that child in the neighbor's house, or that cousin or that relative who is always first in class, and your child is not, and you're always praising that child, always talking as if that is the best person, the best thing that can happen. It will shape your child's way of looking at his or herself. Maybe this child has also heard that beautiful means you're slim, you're tall, and you have this H shape, and you're fair in complexion. And maybe this child is short, or this child is fat, or this child is dark in complexion, or this child is not, doesn't look regular like every other child, like you want to say. And most of the times the only thing the child hears or sees celebrities are those ones, those who are celebrated are those who look in a certain way. How do we help our children who have low self-esteem? We start by not putting pressure on these children. You may want to bring a conversation with the child. How would you even notice that your child has low self-esteem? In some cases, the child becomes withdrawn at home. So when you notice that this child is withdrawn, or maybe when a topic is brought up in the house, the child goes into their shell like a snail. Or maybe when some friends, or when you go to a new environment, this child may develop a low self-esteem by looking at how, or maybe the child is bullied in school, or the child is afraid, or the child is careful whether the child is making you proud. The child is very careful about how the child does things. Maybe you want to relax as a caregiver or a parent around this child. You can bring up this conversation. It could be nice when you're working at home, you're doing some work, and you just talk to this child about the self-esteem issue, and you could just talk about some things like, hey, about this. You could just talk, and you're not talking because you're being judgmental. You want to create a conversation with this child, to pry into the light, into the mind of this child, and understand where the problem is. So please, whether you listen to the problem and it's as bad as what, your job there is not to criticize at that moment, and it's not to judge the child. It's just to listen to the child. Give the child a listening ear. It will boost the child's self-image a little bit. You may also want to teach your children, make them understand that they should love the way they look. They should love who they are. Some children are dark. You want to talk to them that being ebony color, they say blacks don't crack. You say it's one of the best colors you can have, my daughter, my son. You talk to them, you make them see the originality in being black. They will enjoy their complexion the way it is. So even when they go out there and they see the fair people, they won't feel less of those people. You may also want to make this child understand that you also go through some struggles sometimes. Explain to them, maybe you've had one of those cases where you had issues with your self-esteem. You want to discuss it with the child, how you overcame. You will help your child in that direction. I want as parents to please be keen on our children. Be very keen, try to find out, pick out some of those little details, because some of these things start very minute and it will grow. And before you know it, tomorrow you have a very sad adult. Because as parents, we didn't pick out these things when it was still at a very baby stage. I believe that we are all intentional parents, and I believe that we want our children to grow well in our society. So please help them boost their self-esteem. I'm going to wrap this up with a story that I learned from some two girls. There were these two girls who, they were cousins. So one went to visit the other. And after that visit, these two girls keep journals, they write in their books. And the parents of these girls happened to stumble on the books of these children. One of the girls, she's dark, she's big, and she's tall. Another girl, she is also dark, she is thin. Now, the thin girl wrote in her journal, Lord, help me. I would like to be as fat, to have some flesh like my cousin, dash, dash, dash. Names will help. And the other girl, the fat girl, wrote, Lord, please, I would like to be as thin as my cousin, dash, 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 dash. See what low self esteem can do. See what pressure from outside can do. So we want to talk to our children to love themselves the way they are. Be proud of who they are and the way they are. Just like yourself the way you are and keep it. You want to also talk to your child that when you don't do well in school, you're not the worst person in the world. You can do better. Then you go back to when that child had done better before. Even if it's not in book work, in something else, bring it up to them and say, see what you can do. See this, see this. It means you're a smart child. The fact that you failed here or you're failing here doesn't mean you're dull, you're smart. Maybe we just have to channel it another way and see how you will make it better. Dear parents, help our children to build a good self-esteem. Thank you so much for watching Shanti's Haven. If you think this was helpful, why not share? Let another person learn from what you're learning. Together, we're going to fight this cankerworm of low self-esteem, one family at a time, to make our society a better one. Always remember to leave it better than you met it. See you some other time on Shanti's Haven. Bye-bye.